I was flying an airline. I won't mention their name, but I was flying with an airline recently, and my two favorite cities in the States is Vegas. I've been here 43 times in the past 7 years, and New York City. I love these two cities, my favorite cities, that mostly in the world almost. I love New York City so much, and I hate their airports. I hate them. Right? JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark, they're like 3 out of the 4 horsemen for me. I can't stand them. So I get to JFK, and I get there early like a good Canadian, and I get there like 4 days early for my flight, and I show up, and I get into the corral, and I'm talking to people. I'm like, hey, what are you talking about? And I'm talking around, and I'm handing out pancakes with syrup. I'm doing my Canadian thing for them because I'm an ambassador. I got like 2 syrup guns going, and I'm good to go. And then they start letting people skip the line who are late for their flight. And so I get to stage 1 Canadian anger, which is passive-aggressive. And I let them, passive-aggressive politeness, actually. And they walk by, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, you're late for your flight. You better go through. Yeah, I was here early because, that's what, I'm responsible. But, that's okay, yeah. No, I know, the traffic. Amazing that New York City has traffic. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's cool. So I weave my way up. In about an hour, I get through 40 people in this line, and I get to the security line. I get to the head of the security line. So I do what we do. I get to I get up, I get naked, and get ready to go through the thing. And I put the bucket in. And my bucket literally is so far into the x-ray machine that my thumbs are being scanned. And just then, the dance of the flight attendants and pilots happens. Have you been to security when this happens? When they show up, and they just walk past everyone without a word, like they're invisible. And they grab their buckets because I know they're allowed through the line. I know why they're allowed through the line. I fly for a living. Okay, I know why they're through that line. But understand something, by the way. The first rule of Flight Club is that the plane will not leave without you, the flight attendant or pilot. The plane will leave without me, the paying passengers. So let's figure out priority a little bit. But anyways, I'm already the way through, okay? And they take the buckets and do this Cirque du Soleil thing in the air with the bucket and literally throw the bucket over mine. Throw it over mine. And not one says, excuse me, and there's 9 of them. And by the 7th one, I am no longer Canadian. I am angry, and I've reached stage 11 Canadian anger, swearing. And I turn to them, and I apologize for this in advance. I turn to them, and I say, and I let loose. I look at them, and I say, come on! And I'm sorry for saying that, but I think I said, come on, I'm sorry, but I had to say it. Like, I don't usually get that vulgar. And I said that, and she turns around, and I'm so furious now. She turns around and mumbles something. I'm like, not one excuse me. I get it. They're walking through. I don't care who you are, who you work for, and how much money you have. That does not excuse you from common courtesy, okay? Please, thank you, I'm sorry, excuse me. My mama taught me right. You learn those 4 phrases in life, you are good, okay? If your kid knows those phrases, you've done a great job parenting. And I look at it, and she turns around, and she says, I said excuse me. Which in a wonderful tone, by the way, with Delta on her lapel. And I looked at her and I said, I heard nobody say excuse me. And she looks at me and goes, well then open your ears. Do you know who I am? Now I've just turned into the emperor. I'm just like, what? This will be good content for a book. Keep going. Like, just come on. And she's like, I said excuse me. And she walks through and she's gone and she's vanished. And I'm just hoping she's the flight attendant on my flight. So I get through and I'm going through security, and now I've gotten to the enraged point of now stage 11, just complete, utter silence and facial expressions. And I'm like, how did you? And now I'm making a list, stage 12. I will never fly Delta again. My son will never fly Delta again. His unborn children will never fly Delta. I'm putting it in my will that we'll never fly them. If you want to make this up to me, you will have to give me a plane. You will change the logo to my face. And I get to sit on the pilot's lap. And I'm so furious. I'm like, I need to do something. I'm going to tweet. And I hop on Twitter and I tweet this and I say, Delta Airlines flight attendant pushes in front of me at JFK security. When asked for at least an excuse me, she replies, open your ears. I am so blindly angry. I am so full of rage. I misspelled Delta. Did you catch it before? You didn't catch it, did you? Neither did I. But Delta and the airline industry in general has so many blind complaints that they misspell, and they have a search string set up for misspelled versions of their brand. And so they reply with this tweet. They reply back to me and say, I'm truly sorry to hear this. We expect our flight attendants to be courteous at all times. Please accept my apology. And I'm sitting there at the boarding gate. I'm like, okay. Thank you. It wasn't a big deal, actually. How are you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for saying it. It totally disarmed me. 100%. I almost got on the flight like this. Delta, hate this freaking stupid pretzels. Throw them down. Chair's too cushy and weird. And then I walk on the plane like this. I like the plane. It's a nice plane today. Ooh, these chairs are not. Yes, I will like pretzels. How did you? Thank you. Right, my entire mind was changed by one tweet. And I replied with this tweet here. Well, that made me smile. Thank you. You just diffused my anger. I got nothing. The biggest prick in business on Twitter, I got nothing. I can't go anywhere. What would have happened if they sent that tweet, but instead of 4 minutes later, it was 4 days later? Then it wouldn't have fixed it, right? I would have written a blog post of how much Delta sucks and gotten a whole bunch of hits because we like to pile on, and this changed it in 4 minutes. The key to social is not only being authentic and being good to your customers, it's being fast. Because you don't have days or weeks to meet about that tweet that happened last week. No. We have minutes, we have hours maybe. This changed it. I went from never flying Delta again, this is last year, to since then I have flown 46 flights on Delta, mostly business class. That is worth a lot of revenue to them. One tweet. I agree. I agree with people who say there's no ROI on Twitter. I agree 100% with you. There is no ROI on Twitter. There is ROI in being awesome, and sometimes that happens on Twitter.